way. So I'm going to share the screen now. Yeah, so we have done with the banker acceptance, repurchase agreement. Federal funds. Now let's see how the monetary system is based on the money, right? So how do we measure the money? It's really simple. It's really easy. There are three main forms of money: M0 or M0, M1, and M2. If you can see, it's obvious what is M0, what is M1, what is M2. But we need to figure out exact definitions or understand the exact phenomena of money supply. So how to count entire money within an economy? In an economy. So first, M0. M0 includes only currency, only total currency in the market. That means coins and paper money. That's it. You don't include any other things except these two. So you have to see, and you can count, because a central bank, remember, central bank always issue these currencies. So central bank has the record that how much money. What happened usually? Let me tell you. What happened usually? It's really simple. Every year, you see RMB. Every year, central banks, People Republics of Bank, People Bank of China. Every year, on one hand, when it issues money, which means coins and currency, on the same hand, every year it also disposes the old currency. You see, when you put the money in an ATM, sometimes ATM doesn't accept that money. Why? Because that money, that paper has some kind of problem, either it's teared or torn from somewhere, or it has some issue which is not acceptable by the machine. So every year, this money is being collected by the banks, commercial banks, and it is given to the People's Republic of Bank. That this money has some problems. Some people, it's illegal to write on a paper note, to write on a currency note, right? But some people, they do write. Some people, they just torn somehow, means they are not in well form. So every year the central bank collect all that money from the entire country, and they just burn that money because it's no use, and they issue new money. So they have the record that every year how much money was, how much currency and paper and coins are disposed, and how much new coins and paper are being issued. So there are 40 students in the class, and before it was 69. So I will ask you to help out other students who are in the class to join the class if they are unable to join the class because of some problem, some IT problem. So that's M0. So at this moment of time, in China, there is how much money available? Can you guess? Can you give me an educated guess? Quickly. Yeah? Roughly. What's your rough guess? How much coins and money, paper money, like China RMB, 5 RMB, 50 RMB, and 100 RMB? How much this kind of currency notes circulating in China? Any guess? No? Around 6,000. Sorry, 8,000. in August 2020. It was 8,000 billion currency, paper and coin currency in China, circulating in China, right? So that's about M0. Now let's see what is M1. So M1, of course, M1 includes M0, plus it also includes checkable deposits. So M0 plus traveler check, demand deposits, all checkable deposit, because these are short. You can say you can go to the bank and you can change into cash, right? Because they have a highly liquid or high liquidity, highly liquid instruments. So they are highly liquid instruments. That's why we consider it M1. And by the current estimates, all these things. So M1 money supply includes available currency in an economy and currency of the depository institutions and banks. So it includes currency travelers like you. We all know that. All are credit money. So these all credit money. Even M0, coins and paper money is also credit money because it's a promissory note, right? So the total M1 in China is around 60,000 and 130 billion RMB. How do I know this? I will tell you later. But that's how it is. It's the latest estimate of 2020 August. Note that M0 is most liquid form, that is cash, and then M1 is the most liquid form after M0 are included. So then we have M2. What is M2? M2 is M1 plus near money. What is near money? Highly liquid financial assets. Means which are near to anytime you can go to the bank and you can change into cash whenever you want. So there must be that kind of thing. That's also considered. At this moment, these are numbers. So these are also numbers. These are also numbers. Only M0 is the major currency, or is a physical currency, right? Rest are numbers, but you can convert those numbers into physical whenever you want. So M2 includes M1 with near money, and near money means saving deposits, money market securities, all the money market security which we have studied just a bit before. That includes in M1, M2, mutual funds and other deposits which we can be short term, can be concluded as M2 money. So whenever you are talking about money supply, you can take M0 as a money supply. Some economists, they consider M1 as a money supply, whole money. Some consider M2 as a money supply. Because they are near to maturity, so it's become liquid soon. So we included highly liquid financial assets in M1 and M2, and it's also considered as the total money stock of the country. The M2 of China recently is, so this one is 8,000. This one is 60,000 something. Let's say 60,000 roughly. And this one is 213,680 billion. Right? Now let's see a little bit more about this. But before that, I will tell you what doesn't. Okay, let's see first this one, and then we will talk further. So I can open this and you can see the screen. No, you cannot. Now you can see the screen. So if I copy this, so this is a website. This is a data website, data source, dataset website. You can get like a lot of financial data set. Yeah. Right. So this is money supply M0 in China, increased to 8,000 billion. You can see, right? From 7,000. So they have the record. So from every now, look, this is to COVID-19, right? So COVID-19 is going to be in this time period, and in January the lockdown starts. So when the lockdown starts, the circulation of the currency money declined. Right, it declined, and over the time it gets normal. Now below there are some statistics, some financial statistics, so it can be helpful. So if you needed the data, you can get the data from here. So that's the 8,000 last. So now let's see about the M1. So M1 last was like 60,130 billion RMB. So this is CNY billion. And then interbank rate. So when the bank issues anything within itself, so that's that rate. And then money supply M2 is 218 trillion RMB. So you can get other like central bank balance sheet, banks balance sheet, loan to private sector. You can get like a lot of from trade economics data. So that's a really useful website. And you see, you can even like have like a maximum data. Let's see what is the maximum data here. Oh wow, that's the money. That's a which one? Yeah, that's a currency. That's a physical money in China. So in 1984, you see that's a really small money supply, but as the progress happens, it increases over the time. Now let's see what doesn't include in the money supply. Credits. What is credit? Credit is not only credit card, but it includes other things as well. Why? Mainly because of the fluctuating prices. Because their prices fluctuate. I knew that it's going to happen. So because their prices fluctuate over the time, it changes quickly. Means we are not sure about the fluctuations. Fluctuation means change. So because of fluctuating prices of these credits may include stock and bond of mutual funds with long-term maturity. So all the long-term, more than 1 year securities, they aren't included in the money supply, or anything held by the individual representing the borrowing and the store of value. For example, the gold I'm having, it doesn't include in, though it has a value, but it doesn't include the money I keep in my home, or I borrow by myself to someone, so it doesn't include. So that money can be included, which is in the market and which can be tradable. So credit cards are also not included. Why? Because it's a predefined, credit card is a predefined limit of money used by a consumer as a loan, and no checkable. You cannot write a check against the credit because there is no deposit in the bank. So I can use the credit card, but even I don't have a deposit. So there is nothing in my account, but I can still use the money. So that's why we cannot include this money in the money supply. And because other deposits are not established against the time of issue of credit card. Now let's see. So this is how So this is the main phenomenon of money supply. Okay, now you are well aware of how does from where the money comes, the currency comes, what we are having. So let's talk about the money and role of money supply in economy. That what is the gross domestic product, how we achieve that gross productive product, what is the money supply impact, how the money supply impacts on GDP, and what is a monetarist point of view, who are the Keynes, who are the monetarists. We will talk about these things, and we will see the historical perspectives of money and exchange rate. That's another thing. Then we talk about other types of currencies. That's all we're gonna talk about in this session, in next session. So at the moment, we can also see US money supply. Now, wow. See, because we will also talk about that how the US becomes the universal currency in today's session. So that's why I told you that last session is really important. Look at the money supply. It's million, so Chinese is in billion RMB. So so it's 4,800 billion, or so this 4,800 billion US dollars are in circulation in form of a paper money or currency money within US. If we talk about the money supply, so you see it is amazed. Like it's not the big difference between M0 and M1 in US, but there is a huge difference in China. In China, this amount is 8,000 and this amount is 60,000 billion. So here, this amount is almost 5,000 billion, and this is 5,400 billion. So that's not a big. So it means the checkables are not so common in US nowadays. So, but there is a huge difference in M2. So M2 means saving, depository, securities, market securities, money market securities. They are really common in both in China and also in US. So that's how we compare different countries' financial tools and the financial supplies. Okay, so just refresh your mind for like next 20 minutes. So I will see you at 4:30, and then we will have last session. So I'm gonna drop this call